Hey everybody, welcome back. Brand new take game. I wanted to get a show out about the best of the best broadheads that I saw at this year's ATA 2020. No particular order, rhyme, or reason of why I have these on the list. It is just broadheads that I thought were unique, and I felt like this year ATA as a whole had a really good upside to some of the innovation on the broadhead side. So I wanted to cover some of the best broadheads I saw at the show this year. So that being said, number one on the list is actually called the One. Muzzy Broadhead, the One. So this broadhead is named after exactly what it is. It kind of reminds you of the G5 Montec, but it is a solid piece of perfectly hardened steel machined from one piece. So it is a one-piece broadhead, super solid, legitly looks like you could shoot through a brick wall with it. It's a 3-blade, 100 grain, the 1 1/8 inch cut diameter. They also make this in a 125 head as well. That is a 1-inch cut, and they make it in a crossbow model as well. But it's a really cool broadhead. Like I said, a solid one piece. You don't change any broadheads or any blades, I should say. You can literally pick this up out of the dirt and sharpen it right up and use it again. But it's pretty sweet looking. You can find out more about that at Faradyne.com. Muzzy.com, which will redirect you. But super slick looking broadhead, runs about $39.99 for a 3-pack. All right, guys, number 2 on the list. I'm going to stick with the Muzzy brand. It is the Muzzy Shank, but it is Muzzy's first over-the-top expandable broadhead. Looks similar to a Schwacker. It's that type of head, being an over-the-top broadhead, which I'm a huge fan of. But on the flip side, from the different look of the Schwacker, it has the notable trocar tip that Muzzy is famous for. Awesome looking broadhead, aluminum ferrule. It is a 1 3/4 cutting diameter. Here's a great thing for everybody kind of on the budget side, or budget friendly, I should say. This runs $39.99 for a 5-pack. So you're basically getting 2 extra free broadheads. But it's awesome looking broadhead. To be honest, that style broadhead I have shot for a very long time now, and have, let's say the last 10 years, killed almost 90% of my deer with, besides 1 or 2 broadheads here and there that I've experimented with. But check it out from Muzzy, Muzzy Shank. And once again, you can find that at Muzzy.com or Faradyne.com. All right, guys, next on the list is Annihilator broadheads. This is a award-winning broadhead, pretty much unlike anything I've ever seen from a fixed blade. It is, again, a solid one-piece broadhead, so you can reuse it, in my opinion. You can resharpen it. Has a lot of cool features, but it is made that in such that it does not catch or stick anything to the surface area of that broadhead, which is really unique. It designed with what they call a back scoop wedge, which allows for better penetration, and also displays center mass from the arrow, which allows for better penetration. And basically, they run 2 different grains size with this broadhead. They have a 100 grain, which runs roughly $54.99, and they have a 125 grain, which runs $59.99. Awesome looking broadhead. Make sure to check it out. Annihilator.com. AnnihilatorBroadheads.com. And next on the list would be one of the coolest broadheads, again, I've seen in a while. They came out with this design last year, but that is from B3 Archery, the exoskeleton meg. They had some different exoskeletons last year, but this year's the meg is out, and it is really a unique broadhead. It's one of those broadheads you have to see up close to believe. So it is a stainless steel 3-blade broadhead in a 125 grain, and it is, or basically I should say, it has no external O-rings, no bands, very compact, tight broadhead, and basically when those broadheads are made like that, it has great flight, and that's what this is known for. When the blades expand, they're at an 1 3/4 cut broadhead, and these blades that I prefer, I'll call them a samurai style, but they are a curved blade, which allows for a lot better penetration than a straight angle blade. So the meg comes in a actual 2-pack, which runs $39.99, but it does come with a practice head as well. You can find out more of that at b3archery.com. And we'll call this one More from Morgan. So we have more from Levi Morgan and his partnership with a Schwacker. So this one is the Levi Morgan series signature number 269. The 2-blade is just like the 261, the blue ferrule, very unique, curved back blades, which they actually did that last year on Levi's initial signature head. So they curved the blades back a little more, so on the off side there's some better penetration. But this is a 125 grain broadhead versus last year's 100, and it is a 2 and 2.5-inch cutting diameter. And that's a pretty sweet broadhead. Definitely a broadhead I would think about shooting if I was shooting at 125 grain heads, which who knows, in the future I might be. But it's a very cool looking broadhead. $44.95 per 3-pack, and that's available at schwacker.com. And for all you Rage lovers out there, the Rage X Extreme is back. The Rage X Extreme is back with basically a new key feature, and it is which is such a great feature, but it is the no collar retention system. So it basically eliminates the O-ring or the need for it. So basically finger-like tabs anchor the blades in the closed position within the aircraft grade aluminum ferrule, eliminating the need for the O-rings again. But basically they kind of pinch shut and they stay that way. But Rage has, especially in this one, very unique swept back blades, delivers a massive 2.3-inch cut. Who knows what the cut really is when you hear like the likes of Mark Jury talk about this a lot, is the slap. So initially when that arrow hit that deer you're aiming at, those blades kind of slap forward and create even a bigger opening on the entrance side. Those are available for ragebroadheads.com, $34.99 per 2-pack. But one of the best looking Rage broadheads in my opinion out. Another really cool broadhead I was excited to see was from Swat. It is the Swat Hybrid TI. Super unique because it's kind of one of a kind that it can literally be shot as a fixed blade or as an expandable. And this is what's so crazy about it. So you can have 2 5/8 4-blade cutting diameter. It has a 3600 stainless steel blades, which is if you know your blade size, that is really thick, tough, strong blades at that size. Another cool thing with the Swat is they are a titanium ferrule. So again, just to go along with the likes of durability and strength, that broadhead is going to be super strong. It's super stout, a shorter broadhead, so the arrow flight is going to be very similar to a field point accuracy. Another cool feature is that it comes in an 85 grain and 100 grain broadheads. The Swats run in a 3-pack and they go for $44.95, and you can find out more about them swatbroadheads.com. Another fixed blade. This is the most I've ever talked about fixed blades on a podcast, I swear, but the new Sick F3 from Sick Broadhead is again super unique. I feel like a lot of the technology and innovation this year at the show, first time in years if you ask me, was really focused on fixed broadheads, and that being penetration and better arrow flight and just overall better aerodynamics on some of these heads. And the F3 was one of those this year. What makes the Sick Broadhead really unique is it has 3 overlapping stainless steel blades on this head that connect to the ferrule. It's a very nice size 1 3/16 cutting diameter. The blades interlock underneath the very durable hybrid tip on that broadhead, which makes it, very close to what I would say is indestructible, but a very unique, well-built broadhead. Now, this broadhead is only available in a 100 grains, and it's available in a 3-pack, roughly around $44.95. And you can find out more about those at sickbroadheads.com. And basically coming off of the extremely popular Raptor Trick from Slick Trick Broadheads is the Raptor Trick X 100 grain broadhead that is always been one of my favorite broadheads, just based on it's a one-piece system over the top. That is something that, again, I think is super important. The design of this broadhead is so unique and just so aerodynamic, and it is built to withstand super fast blazing speeds. For the Raptor Trick X, that's what we're talking about now. Sorry about that, folks. But the Raptor Trick X is a 100 grain mechanical broadhead based off of crossbows. So basically, this one is designed to withstand speeds up to 400 feet per second. Being that it's overtop broadhead, it's a 2-blade, and it's a 2-inch cutting diameter, which makes it all the better. And roughly at $42.99 for 3 packs. It's one of the broadheads, even the regular Raptor Trick for the vertical bows that I think is not spoke of enough. I think it's one of the best broadheads out, being a one-piece ferrule with those over-the-top blade that just jet back, but it is super slick looking and one of my favorite broadheads at the show. even though I don't shoot a crossbow, but that's just one of my standout favorite broadheads. And basically, last but certainly not least on this list, Veteran Innovative Product, VIP Broadhead. They are known for making very tough, very durable broadheads, and this year has a brand new head out, which, it is also one of those heads that I really would love to shoot, and it might be in the quiver this year at some point. I would just like to test it out and see what it does on some animals because, man, it's super unique and it has a lot of innovation in this broadhead. So the new one this year is called a Combat Veteran. It is actually a 4-blade, what I would call a hybrid head, not so much just a regular old expandable, but a hybrid head. One of the reasons I like the VIP head so much, it has a very unique blade deployment system on these heads that is really kind of more than unique. It is really one of a kind on these heads. Okay, so I hope I get this right when I say this, but the cutting diameter is 1 1/4 and by 2 inches when deployed on the opposite side to go along with 1 1/4 inch in flight. So again, a very streamlined broadhead in flight, which makes for pinpoint field point accuracy. Another really cool factor on these broadheads I thought was that it is a 100 grain broadhead. They're sold in a pack of 3, but you can actually replace the awesome chisel tips on these heads and make it a 125 grain head as well. And that broadhead is roughly $44.95 per 3-pack, and you can find that at veteranip.com. Another very cool feature on that broadhead before I let everyone go or kind of move on to the next one is that broadhead has a retention system in it, so there is no O-ring or bands holding those blades in place. So what they do is kind of when you squeeze the blades, like if you're to hold it upright and kind of squeeze it with your thumbs, you could squeeze the blades just a touch and they'll pop open to the full 2-inch cutting diameter. But a lot of unique features in that broadhead, and they've kind of merged and fixed a lot of the issues between both fixed and expandable broadheads, if you ask me. They've done really good work there at VIP Broadheads, and kind of excited to see what's always going to come out from them in the future. And they're kind of really focused on making just super solid, strong broadheads. All right, guys, that's it for me. That's basically all I had for today from the show as far as show notes wise. And I know shortly here that my room here at the hotel in Indy is going to get crazy, so I'm going to hop off. But I hope you guys enjoyed the show. A lot of great broadheads this year, a lot of great innovation, like I said, and I think personally one of the best years, especially on the broadhead side, that I've seen in many years. I'll go as far as to say probably the best year from broadheads, probably the most technology in the whole show, I think, came from broadheads this year. So check out some of the broadheads I mentioned in today's show, and we'll see you guys again here real soon.